Hi baby girls and baby boys. So in today's video, we will see how to deal with procrastination. But before we do that, we need to bring in some awareness in ourselves. And that's where we'll see the why part of it because this is very important. Most of the time we are obsessed with the methods of how to deal with procrastination, but what we do not understand is that procrastination is a subconscious behavior, and most of the time this behavior is only valid for yourself. What does that mean? Let me give you an example. Let's say you have been given some work at university or in your 9 to 5 job, and they say that you have to submit a presentation or whatever it is, and they give you a deadline, and you do complete the work on the deadline. Yes, you may procrastinate, but you make sure that you do it, right? But what if I say that you decided that you want to go and hit the gym, but after a few days you do not show up? And maybe after a whole year, again you decide to show up, but you still do not do it, right? Because even though you set a deadline for yourself that I want my ideal body in some time or something like that, you do not show up. So what's the reason behind both of these things? I mean, it in one scenario I do the work even though I do not want to do it, but in another scenario, which is for me, I do not do the work, right? I'll tell you the exact reason. So there are two major reasons for procrastination, and everything falls under these two reasons. So let's just break this down. The first one is the FS and CS. What is that? The FS is your future self, the CS is your current self, and we are talking about the gap between the two. What does that mean? Let's say in future I want to be a businesswoman, okay? And that future version of me would know everything about business, everything about her industry. Basically, she's a pro, right? But this current version, which is still learning, is not sure, and maybe she doesn't have a lot of faith in herself, all of those things. So she procrastinates. She does not study financial literacy or things which are needed for business, right? So the reason why I would procrastinate and not show up for that higher version is the gap between the two. Okay, let me just give you an example. This is me, okay? This is me. Yes, all three of those are me. So first we have my current self, the CS. Then we have the BS, the better self. And then finally we have the higher self. What does that mean? Look at the gap between the highest self and the current self. It's pretty huge. And that actually gives us fear. And that's why we procrastinate. Let's see the gap between the current version and the better version. Someone who is a little better than this version, maybe that version has financial independence, if not a big business. Let's take that as an example. So can you see the gap between the two? The gap between the current self and the highest self is a lot. And the gap between a current self and the better self is a little less. So this is like your solution. You should be more focused on your next self, next better self, rather than the highest self. This can be intimidating, and most of the time it invokes fear in us, and that's why we bother not doing anything. We're like, oh, I don't know if my business would succeed or not, so why bother trying at all? And we do not try. We're sitting and we're just waiting, I don't know for what moment in our lives. Now this is what we should be doing instead. We should be focusing on the next better self. A self which is slightly better, a self which knows slightly better than this self, a self which is slightly more experienced, and this is like a solution for your procrastination. Now, this is not the exact solution because we'll be talking about that. I just had to, point this out. Let's talk about the other why of the procrastination. This is called lack of self-respect and faith. What does that mean? I'll tell you. Whenever someone is at a higher level than us, be it socially, be it financially, be it on any level, then we do their task. Even if we have a deadline and we do not feel like doing it, we still procrastinate, but we would show up for them, right? We would still do the work. And that's exactly what I want for you. Even though you may procrastinate in this beginning, but I still want you to do the work and show up for yourself. So let's see what this one is about. Lack of self-respect is simple. Let's say someone wants to start a content creation. Let's say you want to start a content creation journey, but you are not showing up for yourself. You feel that people will judge you, this, that, and then you feel lazy, or maybe you start but then you do not continue. You are doing it for like a few months and then you just stop it. The reason is simple. The reason for your procrastination is that you do not believe in yourself. See, everything has a subconscious parameter or importance in our life. See, this procrastination is like the tip of the iceberg. The real deal is what is behind, what is below the tip of the iceberg, and that is this. These are the things that brings us in fear mode or procrastination mode because we do not believe in ourselves. Let's say you want to do something which is scary or something which nobody, not in your friend cycle or family or anybody has done yet, right? Now, the reason why you would not start it is because you might question, why can I do this? What's so special about me? The fact that you have that desire in you is the reason why you should be doing it. You do not need external validation, guys. That's not what you need. Now, how do we build this how do we battle this self-respect thing and the faith in ourselves? How do we build this? How do we battle the lack of self-respect and faith? Because these underlying self-concepts or these subconscious beliefs are hindering our work, right? So let's see how we're gonna battle this. Okay, so before seeing how to battle procrastination or how to change those subconscious beliefs that we have inside of us, because that is this whole video is about, I'll tell you how. Before we know the how, you have to first understand where this lack of self-respect and faith is arising, because this is very important. I'll give you a very small example. Let's say you decided that okay, from 10 o'clock to 10:30 I will watch reels, right? Instagram reels, and from 10:30 sharp I will start studying. Okay, this is what you decided in a day. Now it's 10:30, you say 10 more minutes, okay, and suddenly the time is 12. That exact habit is causing the lack of self-respect and faith. Your body is reacting or behaving in the manner you train it to be. Every single day you make promises for yourself. You're like, today I will do exercise, today I will do this, today I will do that, today I will, start my content creation journey, today I will study for this long hours and all of those. We make so many promises to ourselves. Imagine you have a partner, anyone, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you want to take an example for. And they make so many promises to you and they do not show up. They do not put in the efforts. They do not do anything for you. How would you react? You would be enraged. And you might as well do the breakup and all of that. But what about the relationship with ourselves? We too make a lot of promises with ourselves. We say, today I'll study for 4 hours. And then later you're watching reels for 5 hours. That's what causing the lack of self-respect. And this is directly linked to your procrastination. You do not want to show for yourself. You do not want to study business. You do not want to do the content creation work. You do not want to study psychological books or neuroscience or anything which would benefit you. You do not want to watch a podcast which would benefit you. Why? Because you have lack of respect for yourself. You say you would do something, but you do not do it. And that is causing the lack of self-respect and faith. Simple. Every single day, so many promises are the things that we make to ourselves. We are like, just 5 more minutes and then I'll get started. The moment those 5 minutes are completed, you're reprogramming your mind when you do not show up for yourself. Because you think, I'm not that important. Why should I show up for myself? And in order to do that, we will see the exact ways and how you can do it. Because at one point in my life, even I was a big procrastinator. Like, I would do things when the deadline would be, at the top of my head. And, it causes stress. And I do not want that, especially for myself. It doesn't matter, university work or other work. No, that's not the point of this video. This video is for you, and that is important. So I do not want you to procrastinate with yourself. That is very important. So let's see what we can do. Start small. This is the only solution to your procrastination. The moment, the moment you build those good self-concept beliefs, what is self-concept? Whatever abilities and beliefs that you have for yourself, subconsciously, that is what I'm talking about. So, how do we battle it? Start small, very simple. What we have to do is rewire our subconscious mind from the lack to something which is more helpful. Let's see how. Let's take an example. I would want to be someone who reads a lot of books. Maybe the books related to business, maybe books related to psychology, right? Or maybe books related to anything, let's say neuroscience, right? Or let's say books related to anything, okay? Doesn't matter. So these are some of the examples. This is what I want to do. I want to read books on these things or on different topics, even if it's fiction, doesn't matter. I want to read books. Now, since I have lack of self-respect and faith, what I would do is, this is what I would do. I would say, today is this particular date, okay? And the target is to read 2 pages. That's it. You do not have to do anything in your whole day. Make sure, it doesn't matter whatever is happening in your life or how difficult times are. If you made a commitment to yourself that you will read 2 pages today, read those. Even if you're in a metro, a bus, I don't care. Read those 2 pages. That's all you have to do to build your self-respect or the faith in yourself, right? Now, after you have done these 2 pages, say that I will continue this for a whole week. This is called increasing self-belief. Now, after you have done it for a week, say I'll do it for a month. After you have done it for a month, say I'll do it for the next 6 months. Then say that I will do it for a year. And trust me, you wouldn't even take this much of time. You would already be a reader by this time. See, the problem is that first we build the lack of self-respect and faith, and then we put like impossible demands from ourselves. It's like having no respect for yourself and then demanding a lot suddenly. You suddenly want to get the whole world. You suddenly want to be in the best shape. You suddenly want to know everything. You suddenly want a business. No, that's not how it works. You have to see what is the level of self-respect and faith that you have in yourself. What is your self-belief? Accordingly, you have to act. We set impossible targets for ourselves and we are not able to achieve them. This is the reason we have lack of self-respect and faith in ourselves. So in order to build this, the simple method is to start small and keep building our self-belief. Now you might think, okay, that's for reading. What about other things? The moment you do this, your brain will, your brain will say, oh, so she does what she says that she will do. That means that one day, if I decide that today I want to finish a whole book, after all of this time, I might be able to do it. But a non-reader, they cannot do it. So the point is simple. You have to build self-worth. How do you do that? By believing in yourself. How do you do that? By increasing your self-respect and faith in yourself. And in order to do that, please start small. You do not have to get the whole world in a day. That's not how things work. Start small and then gradually build that self-trust in you. And trust me, the procrastination word will be out of your dictionary for at least your life, not if for others. But yeah. So this was kind of a brief on the topic. I will also dig deeper on this, how to, exactly challenge your self-concept or subconscious beliefs or all of these things. So yeah, I will be uploading more videos on that. But this was basically an overview and a quick method so that you can deal with procrastination that you do with yourself. That's it from my side, baby girls and baby boys. See you in the next one. Bye.